Hari Om, Mana TV International Yogis, meditators. It's wonderful to be together again. Today, we're going to talk about pranayama and how it can really help with your meditation. So first, let's get settled nicely. You might clear the sits bones, shake loose a little, shake the arms free, the wrists, the fingers, stretch the jaw around. Move the head, loosen up the neck and shoulders. Go ahead and twist to the right for a moment. Twist to the left for a moment. Now free up the shoulder blades. Lift the chest up, the crown nice and high, but soften the midsection, the lower back and belly. Take some nice, comfortable, deep breaths. Listen a little. Please take in a breath and join me chanting Om. You might squeeze the throat just a bit, ujjayi, and feel and listen to the air as you breathe. Let the focus of attention move inward. The body softens throughout. The mind quiets some and gets centered. So let's take a moment and tune into what pranayama is. Are you breathing right now? Most likely you think you are. But really, you're really probably not breathing right now. Your breath is just flowing naturally. The universe is breathing you rather than you managing the breath. When you're managing the breath, you're doing pranayama. But normally, you're just being breathed by the universe. The prana, the life force, is breathing your body. usually we think of the energy of the universe showing itself in such things as the wind blowing or even gravity. We take something and drop it and it goes down. That's gravity. We also recognize the energy of the universe in such things as magnetism, drawing things together, or pushing things apart, or the lightning. But we don't normally recognize that the breath moving through our body is the energy of the universe. But it's important that we understand that and recognize that. If you don't think that it's the energy of the universe breathing your body, go ahead, try to stop it. If you're really determined and good at that, after a bit, you'll just pass out, and then the body will again be breathed by the universe. But when we grasp that the energy of the universe is breathing this body that we have, that's the life force of the universe breathing our bodies. Well, there's something special about that in the sense that we can actually take control of it and begin to manage this breath moving through our body. And we call this pranayama, the management of the life force of the universe. And the yogis have come to develop a lot of different pranayama practices. We've noticed that at certain times, what we do also shapes the way we breathe. For instance, if you're walking quickly and turn a corner and almost walk into somebody else, what does your breath do? Doesn't it do this? You walk and you turn a corner, almost walk into someone, it goes. And if you were to define that breath, it's a short, shallow breath taken through the mouth. Do that. Again. One more time. Even though you didn't almost walk into someone, if you breathe like that, you'll find that the energy in your mental state takes shape as if you did. Now let's say you've gone to the mailbox, you were expecting something, or the mail slot, however you get your mail, and it wasn't there. You go there, it's not there, you go, ah. You can describe that breath as well. But one day, you walk there and that thing you'd been looking for is there, and you go, ah. They're very different breathing patterns, and when you do them, they impact you in certain ways. And the yogis notice that when we have something happen to us, a certain breath takes shape. And if we take that breathing pattern on, it shapes the way we feel. It shapes our mental state, our emotions. And this is the science of pranayama. And when we've taken on certain patterns, we found that it really does enhance our mental state. And there are certain breathing practices which will really help us in our meditation practice. We've done one several times. It's called the Dirgha Swasam, just deep breathing, the yogic breathing. And I've described it to you like this. Go ahead, inhale a nice breath through the nostrils, pause a moment, and then exhale somewhat slower through the nostrils. Inhale, pause a moment, exhale a bit slower. Go ahead. When you breathe like this, you find that you can quite easily notice that as you're doing this, the body softens. The mind quiets down and becomes centered. Dirgha swasam. It's a wonderful practice. You start to build up a storehouse of energy from it. The immune system is improved. Digestion is improved from this. Has a lot of benefits. Dirgha swasam. You should do it a lot. Whenever you consider it and you think of it, take a few nice deep breaths. You'll be amazed at how it benefits you. Now another breathing practice is called rapid diaphragmatic breathing. It really does, the name of it, Dirgha swasam, means skull shining. It's done as rapid diaphragmatic breathing. The diaphragm is here, and you pull it in, and the air goes out. You relax it, and the air comes in. And it's done rapidly. When you normally do this, you're not moving the body, the shoulders aren't moving and bobbing. It's just done with the diaphragm, with the breath. You do several of these and then exhale. Pulling in the abdomen, pressing the air out. And then inhale a nice breath again and pause. And then exhale gently. So something about the Kapalabhati, the rapid diaphragmatic breathing, Kapalabhati, the skull shining breath, is that if you do several of these, out and in breaths, the body gets supercharged with oxygen. And because of that, after you've done several and then exhale and inhale a nice breath, the body's so well oxygenated that it doesn't ask you for another breath for quite a while. So you can do several of these out in breaths. And then exhale a nice breath, squeezing in the abdomen, pushing the air out. Inhale after that, and then pause. And the body's not looking for another breath because it's been well oxygenated. And what happens is the mind becomes still. And you can see what your mind's like when it's quiet, when it's still. It's beautiful. So let's do a few of these breaths. Ready? Take in a little breath, a half a breath, and begin. Out, in, out, in, out, in. Here we go. Now exhale, squeeze the abdomen in, push the air out, and inhale, and pause. Notice what the mind is like when it's still. Now, gently exhale. Let's do another round. Inhale a bit and begin. Out in, out in, out in. Exhale. Inhale a nice breath and then pause. And notice what the mind is like now that it's still. And again, exhale gently. One more. Half a breath in and begin. Out in, a little quicker this time. And exhale. Inhale a nice, rather full breath. Don't overdo it. And pause. Again, tune into what the mind is like as it's quiet and still. Become familiar with this state. And now exhale rather gently, softly, slowly. This is a wonderful practice, Kapalabhati, skull shining. If you get used to doing this in a comfortable way, the mind will start to take this stillness and shine. You'll develop somewhat what you might think of as a charismatic bearing. If you do this regularly, whenever you walk into a space, people might notice you because there's just sort of a beautiful shining to your presence. It's very wonderful. For your meditation, what happens is you build up a storehouse of energy. It opens up the nostrils for the next practice, which we'll do next time, the Nadi Shuddhi. And that's a wonderful practice which will build up a beautiful storehouse of energy, sort of a high test kind of jet fuel of energy for your meditations. It's beautiful. And when you start to take on these breathing practices before you meditate, it'll prepare you so that your meditations will work much more beautifully for you, and you'll have the energy for it. So here we go, one last time. Take in half a breath and begin. Out in, out in, out in. Exhale. Inhale and pause. Close your eyes. Tune into the lovely stillness as your mind becomes quiet. And exhale gently, softly. Become familiar with this. Practice it. You'll really fall in love with it once you get used to it. It's a beautiful practice, Kapalabhati. Asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from darkness to the light. Lead us from the fear of death to knowledge of immortality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Bless all dimensions of being with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to that light of truth which overcomes all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Sri Sadguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Bow to the light in yourself. And bow to that very same light in all, in everyone, and everything. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Blessings. Thank you so much. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Every day, a little bit. All love.